Hey there guys, TMO73 here, bringing you some spoiler coverage for the day. Just wanted to give you a heads up guys, there is not going to be a feature match this week, and the reasoning for that is, yesterday was my daughter's birthday, this coming Saturday is my birthday celebration, and so I'm just kind of taking the week off from that, sorry for not telling you kind of sooner. It was kind of a last minute decision to decide to take the week off to kind of celebrate those with family. But next week we'll be starting back up with the feature matches and that new, five video a week schedule leading up to Worlds. So just as a heads up, that is going to be happening. Shout out to my friend who I met on Twitch yesterday during the Q&A. He wanted me to prove that I was DMO73, and so if you're watching, hey buddy, how's it going? Here I am. So anyway, moving into the spoilers. We have light and water stuff today. More fairy tale support primarily. So we have Eternal Boy Peter Pan. He is a 3-cost 5/6 fairy tale with flying. And when he enters this field, you search your deck for a fairy tale resonator with total cost 1 and put it into your field. Then shuffle your deck. So this is actually pretty decent. It is a 3-cost. It gets you a 1-cost. So it's 2 creatures for the price of 1, and you can grab Tinkerbell, you can grab Puss in Boots, and then, force him with his effect. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. So that's pretty cool as an aggro possibility. Milliam continues to show himself as being this kind of more aggressive deck with the fairy tales, which fairy tales kind of were before. So it's cool to see Peter Pan kind of have the same effect. And I like the fact that his stats are a little lower to go along with the fact that he has such a cool effect and the flying for the cost. So I think that's pretty good. Then we have Dreaming Girl Wendy. This is some interestingly hyper-realistic kind of art. Both Peter Pan not so much, but Wendy, the artwork here is very interesting. So she's a 1-cost 2/3, and she says whenever another fairy tale resonator enters your field, you can recover this card. She gains +2/+2 as long as you control a magic stone, but no specials. And as long as you control Peter Pan, she can't be attacked, and she gains flying. So she essentially becomes a 1-drop 4/5 if you have no special magic stones, which fits her into playing Milliam, what better. And she gets to recover when you play other fairy tale resonators, and she has the flying. So essentially you're probably going to grab her with Peter Pan. So you get Peter Pan for 3, so you have that 5/6, and then she comes out as a 4/5 with flying that you can't attack, that'll recover multiple times if you're playing like a mono white build or just basic stone build. So this is actually pretty cool, I think. But it definitely, requires you to play like 100% just basic whites. So just as a heads up. Then we have Dream of Flight. It is a 1-cost quick cast with Remnant, and it just says Force 1, target J/resonator gains +X/+X and flying. This card is crazy. Just being able to go I'm gonna pump this guy up, give them flying, and just go over your face. And the fact that it's J's as well, it's J Rulers 2, is awesome, and you can cast it twice, so because it's got Remnant for that 1-cost. So this is really, really cool. I really like this. It's definitely going to be played in a lot of different ways, I think. Milliam and Zero both love this card, I think. And again, that force, imagine playing this, and then having Pandora on the field or something, and you go, roll. Now I've got Force 12, I get double 6s, so suddenly I've got flying with 12 extra damage and just at your face. So that's pretty interesting. Then we have Retelling Stories. It is a 2-cost chant. It says put any number of target fairy tale resonators from your graveyard on top of your deck in any order and then draw a card. So this is for fairy tale decks, this is the epitome of let's stack everything back up exactly how I need it. Being able to take all of those previously dead cards, put them back on top of your deck, and then you get to draw into one of them immediately. So that is pretty cool. I definitely think this is a card that sees more play in Wanderer format, with when you can play things like Grimm and stuff like that, but it is still cool to see. Then we have Neverland, the Parallel World, 3-cost edition. And it says at the beginning of your turn, remove the top card of your deck from the game. If it is a fairy tale resonator, you may play it this turn. So here's the question here. It doesn't say play it for free, but maybe it means that. That kind of wouldn't make sense to me. I get to RFG a card, and then if it's a fairy tale, I can pay the cost to play it. I would just wait to draw it into my hand, I think. But if it says play it for free, then it's a natural progression into better stuff. So that'll be something we have to look for, and that drastically changes whether or not this card is a viable option. Next up, we have Fairy of Neverland. She is a 2-drop fairy tale / fairy with flying, and she says fairy tale resonators you control with cost 1 gain flying. So she gives fairy tales flying. So I think that's pretty nice. I imagine being able to play, again, you play turn 1 Puss in Boots, and you get really lucky and you get a 5 on the roll. So it's a 1-drop 6/6, and then next turn you play this, and suddenly Puss in Boots is 6 in the air. That's pretty relevant, and her stats are pretty decent for a 2-drop, pretty standard. So pretty cool there. Now we have a couple of blue cards. We have Mermaid of Neverland. It is a 3-drop 6/6 that just when it enters the field draws a card. Nothing really to, go crazy about here, just kind of cantrips. But we have the first bit of what we've seen as being J-Ruler or Special Stone hate. Now we're being told by Jordan, according to the Q&A, that this card is made better by something we're seeing later from Mercurius. But it is interesting to see at least what the start of our Special Stone hate is for this game. For Curse of the Frozen Casket. So it's a Captain Hook. He's a 5-cost, 10/10. So right there, the stats are pretty standard for a 5-cost. He's a fairy tale, so this means that Milliam could pay light for him. So that's also important to note. And it says, when this card enters your field, choose 1. Put up to 2 target special magic stones on top of their owner's magic stone deck in any order, or return up to 2 target resonators to their owner's hand. Wow, this, I don't really know how to feel about this card. It's cool, but I also don't really like it very much, because blue hasn't really solidified itself as being a solid color on its own. So therein, my point being, usually if you're going to be playing this card, you're going to be playing special stones, which means that if your opponent is also playing it, they can hit you, and it feels very risky. That being said, you could play it in Milliam. Milliam can just play mono white and just go from there, which is definitely an option to be able to play stuff like this. But there haven't been any other I don't think there's been enough of a reason right now to play Milliam. At least I'm considering things from the world's perspective because of that. So this doesn't make me feel concerned about playing dual stones. I don't really feel like other people will be playing this card a lot. I feel like Milliam decks will be able to use this, yes, but I don't think Milliam decks will be able to do a lot. I mean, if this connects, then yes, it is a pretty bad space. But I feel like for 5 cost, it's really gonna be hard to do. It just feels really expensive for that kind of cost, and being able to punish players that late in the game, it's I'm punishing you, but how much are you really, because it's probably really late in the game when you're playing this, and they probably have established themselves pretty well by the time that you're gonna play this, taking advantage of playing just basic whites. So just my consideration, but let me know what you guys think, because that's all the spoilers for today. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe as always. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.